Welcome back to Evening Edition, brought by Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate and Now Sales and Service. I'm Ron Saunders, US1 Radio News, and joining us in our headliner segment is Monroe County School Board member Dr. Sue Woltanski. Welcome, Dr. Sue.
Thanks for having me, Ron.
Well, so usually on Monday nights, we use Monday as our opportunity to talk to school board members and the superintendent about what's happening in the school district. But we're having you on a Wednesday night because you're also a candidate for re-election. We've had your opponent, Alexander Suarez, on the show as a candidate, so this is your time to talk as a candidate. You both will be facing off the August 23rd primary, and the winner of that is elected to the school board. So first question is, why should voters return you to the school board?
For more than a decade, like long before I was elected to the board, I've been a public education advocate. My children have been enrolled in our key schools for the last 14 years. I'm currently the only mom on the school board who has a child in our schools, and I've been actively involved in our schools and our community. And my passion is making sure that public education is the best it can be for all our kids. I think I had a very successful first term because despite a pandemic, we raised graduation rates, we improved mental health services, we expanded vocational programs. And in my second term, I'd like to be focused on minimizing standardized testing and finding ways to increase sort of creative endeavors in our classrooms, art, music, physical activity, and field trips, and then ensuring that we have the ability to recruit and retain and respect our great teachers. I have a lot of teacher support. I think most of that is due to the fact that I've been in the schools. I started as a parent advocate. I volunteered in the classrooms. I've sat on school advisory council meetings. I listen to people, and there's a lot of teachers that have a lot of things to say, and I like to think that they give me their support because I listen and respond to their needs.
School board members run countywide, but you have to live in a certain district. You're in the Upper Keys district. Tell us a little bit about your community involvement in Monroe County.
We purchased a house here in 1999. It was next door to my in-laws. And when our kids were small and our daughter was going to start kindergarten, we moved here full-time in 2008. And from practically the first 2 weeks we were here, I was coaching the community soccer team, and I was volunteering in my daughter's classroom. For the first several years that we were here, a lot of my involvement was around early childhood playgroups and participating in the schools. And then as I got more involved in the school from the policy side, I became an advocate for public education in general across the state. But within the community, I'm a member of both chambers, like Key Largo and the Islamorada Chamber. I'm a member of Rotary. I'm a graduate of Leadership Monroe. I'm a member of the Business and Professional Women's Club. I've really put a lot of effort into developing relationships with the community because I believe community support is essential for a successful public school system.
And people have asked me why I refer to you as Dr. Sue. Why don't you give us a little bit about your professional background?
Yeah, I'm a medical doctor. I graduated from medical school in 1993 from the University of Michigan. I studied pediatrics. That's where I met my husband. He is also a physician. And I was in practice in general pediatrics for 10 or 15 years before we moved here. And at the time we moved here, it was a family decision for me to retire. And I became essentially a stay-at-home mom. My husband and I always used to say that no one ever says, I wish I had spent less time with my kids when they were young. And so those were words we lived by, and I'm really, glad to have had that time with them.
It seems in looking at school board races around the country that it's become a lot more political than I remember. I went to school in Monroe County. I went to Truman Elementary, Horace Bryant, and Key West High School. So all my 12 years of school was here in the Keys. And I've watched it ever since, and as a state legislator and then as a member of the community. And I really haven't seen the school board be politicized, but it seems like it's happening all over the country, and it may start happening down here now. How do you think that during your 4 years as a school board member, the school board has worked together as far as dealing with political issues?
Well, let me just say that I think that political narrative that I'm hearing over and over again is simply a political talking point designed to anger people and drive them to the polls. I don't think the things that are being described are happening in our schools. In fact, I know they're not. And I frankly wish we could get away from this false narrative that's really designed for political gain and focus on the things that our students really need, and that is great teachers in every classroom and support for those teachers and students. I think it's a distraction, and I think it doesn't apply to schools here in Monroe, and I don't know if it applies elsewhere, but it's actually a very, this nonstop sort of barrage of political talking points, which disparages our teachers and our schools. You know, our biggest issue now is trying to keep our teachers in this current economic climate, and it doesn't help for there to be constant stories being told about our schools. Our schools are not indoctrinating students. They are not unsafe. Our teachers are devoted to our kids, and I think everybody knows a teacher that changed their life, and those teachers are here in Monroe for our kids, and there's no reason for someone to fear sending their kids to our schools. They're a great place to go to develop into a great human.
Well, if somebody wants to find out more about your campaign or get involved with your campaign, how would they go about doing that?
I have a website, which is Woltanski, that's WOLTANSKI, the number 4, and schools.com. I'm also Woltanski for Schools on Facebook and Woltanski for Schools on Instagram. And if you need to otherwise connect with me for a school board issue, you can find my email for the school board on the website, on the district website.
Okay, well, we've been talking in our headliner segment tonight with Monroe County School Board member Dr. Sue Woltanski, who is running for re-election on the August 23rd ballot. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Sue.
Thanks for having me, Ron.